I have a lot of CDs, but obviously I can always want more CDs. I've broken my want list down into 4 categories, kind of judging by how much I want it and if I'm even going to be able to get it. The first category is just buy it already. There's no excuse why I don't have this yet. It's very available. I should just get it. The next category is Achievable, which I might have to give a little bit of effort, but I could still definitely find this somewhere or online. The third category is Good Luck, which means obviously I'm going to need some luck finding a copy of this at a decent price or just a copy in general. Final category is Actual Grail. This is something that I might not ever get in my life because of how rare it is. I'll be using Discogs to gauge where these CDs fall on the list and to show some stats throughout this video. I'm going to be using the computer. This is a bit of a different format for me, but I hope y'all like it. Let's get going. Starting off the just buy it already category, this is Cody Chestnut, the headphone masterpiece. This is kind of like a lo-fi classic album. Dude just made a bunch of songs. I think a lot of it was recorded on tape. There's 70 copies available for 5 cents. I've seen this in store too. So yeah, there's no excuse why I shouldn't have this yet. It's super cheap and it is definitely widely available. The next CD on here is Toro y Moi Mahal. I've been a fan of Toro for a while now, and this one is a bit more expensive, it seems like, but I've seen this in person multiple times. It's always just kind of expensive. I think that is the reason why I haven't bought it yet. I really like this album. It's probably my favorite Toro album, but it's just the price that's held me back so far. The other thing that affects my want to buy some of these CDs is that some of my friends have them, so like I already have the files of it, which is cool. I'd also like the disc of it for myself, but like I already have that Toro CD because my friend Ian has it. I've got the files on my computer. This I've had my eyes on for quite a while, which is kind of why it's here. Also, it is kind of expensive. I was gonna buy it new on Bandcamp at one point, and it's still available on there. I just haven't done it yet. This next one's kind of a goofy one, and I feel like this is gonna be fun because it's exposing some of my like silly album taste on here. This is Cruella Get Wet. This is an album that I loved as a kid, and I would love to have it on CD. There's 6 copies available for cheap, so it's fairly available. I've kind of been holding out because I want to find this in a store. I feel like I can at some point, but if I wanted to, I could buy it online. Let's see if these are actually gonna be that cheap. Yeah, I could buy one for under $10. Next one is Milky Chance Sad Necessary. I have seen this in store once, but only once. This is, I feel like, an old album that people would probably like sell used at some point, so I'm just holding out until I find it used. It's sold for very cheap before. There's 6 copies available, and they're fairly cheap, maybe not under $10. And the final one in this category is King Cruel Space Heavy. If you watch my CD shopping series, I saw this like 2 or 3 times while I was in Wales, and I just didn't buy it because it was always kind of expensive. It was definitely cheaper there than it was in the US, which I kind of regret not buying it. My friend Ian has it again, so I have the files already. It's just a really good album, so I'd love to have it on actual CD at some point. We are on to the next category. This is the Achievable category. These 2 next ones are borderline just buy it already. The only reason I didn't put them in there is because I haven't really sought them out for that long. These are both really goofy too, so don't judge me, or judge me if you want, I don't care. We got G-Eazy, These Things Happen, and Mod Sun Movie. Now let me explain real quick. This I definitely used to listen to. Let's Get Lost, Remember You with Black Bear is kind of good. I am a Black Bear fan, and I've been a Black Bear fan for a while, so you'll see more of that coming up. Tumblr Girls, legendary song. I have a soft spot for this like dumbass white boy pop rap. I grew up on pop rap, and I don't have a ton of like I don't know. I have kind of respect for G-Eazy. He's also a sneakerhead, which is kind of cool. I don't know. He's not that sick. He's made some really trash ass music, but some of these songs are good to me, and it's really cheap. Like, look at this, 23 copies for $2. So this is basically just buy it already. The Mod Sun one is harder to find. Like, there's literally 19 people who say they have this on Discogs. There are ones for sale for fairly cheap, but this has a Black Bear song that was on one of his EPs. Yeah, this was on Kashmir Noose on SoundCloud, I think. And then this has the Only Mansions feature ever. So yeah, I do kind of want this, even though I think a lot of it's bad. Next one is A Tribe Called Quest. This is their final album. We got it from here. Thank you for your service. I've seen it once or twice in person, and they were both brand new. So I would love to buy it for cheaper than brand new. If there's really that many out there. This next one's a little less achievable. Maybe it should be bumped up to the next category, but it's Kid Cudi, Passion, Pain, and Demon Slayin'. I think this is my favorite Kid Cudi album. I'm not a huge Kid Cudi person, but a lot of these songs are sick. It's a very bloated album, to be honest, but it's a bang for your buck. I think it's a 2-disc, yeah. There's not that many copies out there, and the want to have ratio is kind of tight, so like it's sought after a bit, but I think I could find this at some point. Honestly, this might deserve just buy it already, because I've wanted this for a really long time, and 22 copies for $1, that is crazy. Oh, they all have pretty hefty shipping, but I think I could find this at some point. My friend Ian found this used in Austin. I keep referencing Ian, but he's my CD collector friend. So yeah, I'm very jealous that he found this at one point. I'm just holding out until I find it, because it's got to be out there, but I never find Toro used. I only find him brand new. I'm on Bandcamp for this one because I just wanted to check, make sure, yeah, it's available. I doubt this is going to be coming up used because it's very new and it's not that popular, but it's very achievable. I could literally buy it right now if I want. Next is The Avalanche's Wildflower. This was their comeback album in 2016, and it looks like it's kind of expensive on here. I've seen this once at Long in the Tooth in Philly, but it was brand new, like $15, so I didn't buy it. Also, now I have their first album, which makes me a little less in need of this, but I still want this. This is my favorite Avalanches album for sure. This is another very silly one. Jonas Brothers, The Album. John Bellion wrote and produced a lot of this, and I can't even lie, there's some good songs on here. I low-key like Waffle House. I low-key like Americana. Wings is alright. Summer Baby is good. There's 11 copies available for fairly cheap, so it's out there. I just gotta find it somehow. Okay, the last one in this category is Grouper Shade. There's a couple of songs on here that are beautiful, like Pale Interior, Unclean Mind, The Way Her Hair Falls. Yeah, this album is sick, and it seems like there's a lot of copies available. I've never seen it in person, so I think at some point I'll be able to buy it. Okay, we're moving up to the next chunk, which is the good luck category. These are going to be harder to find, even though some of those other ones were kind of hard to find. Amine, Good For You. This one I'm a little less pressed about because I rented this from the library recently, so I have the files of it, but it would still be cool to have this on CD. There's some good songs on here for sure. There's only 2 copies available on Discogs, and the want to have is almost the same. So yeah, this one seems pretty hard to find nowadays. I saw Frog in person recently, and they had this CD. The only reason I didn't buy it is because it was $20. What is that, $20? I'm sorry, but I'm not buying that, even though I really wanted it. I had the chance. It was very achievable, but I did not buy it because $20 for a CD is kind of crazy. Next, we have MJ Lenderman Boat Songs. This is one of his earlier albums. If his one from last year was his breakthrough album, this was like the pre-breakthrough. Artists liked it before he had like a bunch of fans. It is not available on Discogs right now. No one is selling any of it, and the want to have is fairly close. The last sold was actually like 3 days ago, which is kind of crazy. This is not available on his website or anything anymore. I checked before this vid. Next, we have kind of like a multiple entry, but it's any of Muramasa's CDs. I've seen Demon Time when I was in Wales, and it was pretty expensive. RYC I've never seen before, but I have this one that I would like to buy. There are copies available for somewhat cheap. Oh, the shipping is a bit crazy. I think I might have seen this once. I honestly can't remember, but the 3 copies available are not super cheap. The want to have is pretty close. I forget if there's a CD of their final album, this one. Does this have a CD? Because this is also in there. Oh, yeah, damn. Let's see, is this grailed level? Yeah, this is grailed level. Oh, God. I should put this in the grailed, not grailed. This is not clothing. This should be in my grail level stuff, because honestly, this is one I'd like a little bit more. This is borderline in here, but the prices are pretty high. It was only released in the UK, and this is probably my favorite of her stuff. I like her next album, and that one I did see on CD when I was in Wales, but this one would be hard to find, and it's got the classics. Staying somewhat in the same genre, we got the Target exclusive of Tove Lo, Lady Wood. I forget about this album a lot, but Cool Girl is sick, Influence is sick, and it would just, it'd be a random fun one to have, something you don't really think of on CD at all. There's 3 copies, and they're fairly this is not super expensive. Never mind. There's one that is affordable, and then I've never seen this in person either, so yeah, it's just one that's like not out there very much. This is definitely a nicher one. It's Polvo, Today's Active Lifestyles. There's a decent amount of them that people have, but the one copy available is $30, so that's kind of crazy. I mostly want it for the song My Kimono, but my friend Bae put me onto this band, and I like it a lot. They have the vinyl, so I have the download code and the files of it, but finding this on CD, obviously it's a rare one, so if I ever like saw this in a store for cheap, I'd buy it immediately. I ran out of space on my camera, so we're back and we're about to do this final category, the actual grail category. Let's start the category off with Donnie Trumpet and the Social Experiment Surf. This was actually I feel like this was free on iTunes at one point, and I had it downloaded, but apparently there's a CD of it. Okay, the recent sale was not the most expensive one. The most recent sale was $15, and it has been sold for $10 at one point. The want to have ratio on here is crazy. So yeah, this one I might not ever find in person. This is a 2-for-1 entry right here because they're both by Black Bear. I told you I'm a fairly big Black Bear fan, or at least I was. His new music hasn't been that great, I don't think, since like Anonymous. But this Dead Roses Deluxe has his EP, I forget what the EP is called, but it's like acoustic versions, and it's a 2-in-1 CD, which it looks really cool. And this shit has some of his best songs, like Week When You're Around. That's a top tier Black Bear song, so that would be insanely cool to have. The next one is Cybersex, which is the follow-up to Digital Drug Lord. 5 people have it, and neither of these are available on Discogs right now. This one was sold once for $100. This one has never been sold. Basically any B.O.B. physical mixtape I would love to have. Underground Atlanta by Killer Mike, that is one that is a little more achievable, I think. Basically what I want to do is I want to go to Atlanta, because I've never been to Atlanta, and I want to try and find some B.O.B. mixtapes. So maybe a long time in the future you'll see a video of me going to Atlanta to buy B.O.B. mixtapes. I grew up listening to B.O.B., so that's why I want these. He is obviously not on his prime anymore. I didn't even know this existed until like a little bit ago, but this is a Loveworm / Patched Up Biba Doobie double EP. It might be a promo type thing. Yeah, it looks like it's for like a radio station or something, but there's one available for $200. Want to have is crazy. Loveworm EP is one of my favorite projects from her. So yeah, this would be wild to have. Another one, like, I don't think I'm ever finding this. Another one I kind of just recently found out existed was Raven Lenae, Hypnos. This is my favorite Raven Lenae album. This shit is really good. Sorry I keep bumping the camera. It has been sold, but not even recently. Literally 2023 was the last time it was sold. This is another one where it might be like a promo copy. And the price has always been somewhat affordable. I told y'all earlier, I have a soft spot for this dumb white boy rap. No Faith in Brooklyn, legendary. No Interruption, legendary. But yeah, it hasn't been sold since 2013. Sold for decently high prices, and the want to have is crazy. So this one I'm never finding in person, and if I do, it's an immediate buy. We're almost to the end here. This one, Sophie Product, is Sophie's like original project of random ass crazy electronic music. 2 copies available, $92, and this one is like fairly well produced. Like, it has a lot of copies is what I'm trying to say, but the fact that they're very rare now and the want is nearly double the have, yeah. Vince Staples' Big Fish Theory. This there's 2 copies available for $50 each. The want to have is pretty much the same. I guess it's not as crazy wanted as some of these other ones, but it's an actual release of it that has become very rare, and I would love to have this. This album is really good. I did check this out from the Philly library though. I don't know, somehow they got their hands on this, I guess. Okay, this is the last one on the list, and it is Brockhampton Ginger. I know a lot of people regard Brockhampton's first albums as like their peak, and I love Iridescence. I love this one as well. It does look like it was actually made by the label and stuff. This isn't like not a bootleg, but like this is not a promo copy. This is something they actually sold for a bit. I've never seen it. The want to have is kind of crazy. There's none available. There was one sold kind of recently. Let's see what the graph of the sale prices is looking like. It's going up and down. I don't need mint or anything, but $75 for like the going price, $70. If any of you have these CDs and you're trying to sell them, let me know. I doubt you're trying to sell any of the like high tier ones, but some of those early ones, I would buy those from someone. So yeah, leave a comment and maybe we can work out a deal.